called Speaking to Inform. This consists of 5 speeches, each speech building on one before, and Jurgens is doing the 5th speech, which is obviously the most difficult in this series. And the title of this exercise is the abstract concept. The timing is 6 to 8 minutes, blue on 6, orange on 7, red on 8. Jurgens is required in this exercise to analyze the concept, to make it clear and interesting, to give a clear explanation of the meaning of the concept, to use definitions, examples, and anecdotes to illustrate the talk, and to use visual aids successfully. Please help me welcome to the lectern Jurgens Petersen with the abstract concept.
How do we know what we know? How do we know that what we know is enough? That Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters and guests are a question being asked in corporate executive boards. Of course, the experts were very quick to answer us. We've got Peter Senge, who said the answer is the learning organization. We have, as Stephen Covey says, the answer lies in sharpening the sword. The first one implied with this answer that we need to understand the mental model with which we build organizations, like Toastmasters. The other said, no, it's not good enough to understand the mental model. We need to understand what we do to compete by changing those mental models. Tonight I want to introduce you to the concept of business patterns and how business patterns allow us to understand the mental model of our organization as well as how to shift it to compete. Now you might ask, is this really relevant for us? Think of Toastmasters as your organization and how you can apply this knowledge to grow your club as well. I'm going to do 3 things first. I'm going to tell you about what is a pattern, then we're going to look at what's a business pattern, and then we're going to exemplify and say how can we use business patterns to analyze what our business is doing. A business pattern basically is about context. It's about understanding what things are in context. Here you've got a symbol, and you might say, when a symbol is isolation, we don't know what a symbol means. The moment we put context to it, we can find meaning for it. And that's what a pattern is doing. Now you've got a pattern from 12, 13, 14, 15, and we say, yes, we know what a symbol is. It's the number 13. However, we can apply another pattern, and we can see A, B, C. We can say, yes, now we know it is a B. That is pattern. Pattern is giving meaning to something that in isolation has limited meaning. And we put it in a pattern to give it bigger meaning. How does this work? The more we understand the patterns, and the more we've got the concept of pattern, the more we understand the symbol. We can understand all its context, and we can argue about it. You might ask me, what is a pattern further? If you look at this picture, you see 4 circles. On the right hand circles, you've got the word moving, and it's turning around. That's a pattern. What does the pattern mean? The pattern in this is me moving in the right circles. Now, before I reveal the meaning of the pattern, it was, if you haven't seen it before, it is like mysterious to you. You couldn't see it. And now, if I ask you this in 10 years' time, 20 years' time, you're going to say, it's okay, it's moving in the right circles, it's obvious. Once we understand the pattern, we understand the common language. And that's what pattern is about. Now I'm going to take this concept and root it a little bit further and take it into a business pattern. And you don't have to be scared, I'm not going to cover all this in the slide. What a slide is demonstrating is that each business has got a set of key business processes of things it's doing that makes it unique, that are not common to everybody. It is like a human being. We've got a brain, we've got a heart, we've got lungs, we've got kidneys, and if any one of those systems fail, the organism that's us will fail as well. To understand business pattern, you need to understand how you create value and what steps you put into place to create value. The next element that you need to understand to create a business pattern is the dimensions of value that you are creating. There are 6 common dimensions in which any business, service or product can be placed. The first one is process. I'm better than anybody else. The next one is time. I'm faster, I'm quicker, I'm better. The third one is competencies. Come to me, I've got the experience. The next one is location. We've spoken about it here today. I'm convenient, I'm close by, come shop with me. The next one is knowledge. Come and just ask me. I know how you can put my product or service best to use. Just come and ask me, I'll tell you. And the last one is governance. I do it right every time. I've got the governance, the controls and measures in place. My service will be the same every time. Those are all valid ways of defining value. Once we put that to the test, we can start identifying a business pattern. So what is a business pattern? A business pattern is all the processes we put into place to add value, mapped onto all the 6 dimensions of how we can add value. And we look at how do we focus each one of those processes on a value dimension. If there's lots of synergy, and I look at how I define my value, I look at how I position myself, I look at what value I'm creating, and if all those things are in synergy, I can compete. If everything focuses on that value, I can differentiate myself from somebody else. So the pattern is this line here that says how do I focus all my processes onto my value dimensions. When we put this all together and we collate it and we put it together, we come to a simple picture that is like a spider diagram. And it says for each one of the value dimensions, how do I perform? Where do I focus? Here you've got 2 companies. The one that's orange, that's green, you can't see it nicely on the screen, just trust me. If you look at this company, it focuses on governance as its strong point. The other company focuses on knowledge, process and competencies. Now you can start seeing where is the gaps for competition. Your gaps for competition might be in location, that you've got an advantage already, or it might be in time. If this company competes at that level, they will just secure that they don't lose any market space, but they won't gain any market, because the other company is already there. And that is how business patterns work. And that's how you can understand your main model of your company, as well as how to shift that mental model to gain a competitive edge. Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster.